I'm 22F, having thoughts of being with other men, but don't know what to do as it'd break my BF's 22M heart. Anyone else been in this situation? My BF and I have been together for 2 years now, and about a few months ago he broke up with me out of nowhere. Ever since the breakup, things haven't been the same, and it feels like the 2 years I had with him were all a lie cause he'd hide stuff that would hurt him. Turns out he had ADHD, and a lot of his tendencies were annoying me or would frustrate me at times. He would take my frustration as an attack on himself and think that I would say or do things to intentionally hurt him. He also would bottle stuff and not tell me until it was oftentimes too late, including finding some things after 2 years. Meanwhile, all this time he kept telling me just how much he also loved me and wanted to marry me, up until the week before he broke up. He also doesn't take criticism well. I can't even get frustrated when he does something bad or annoying without him taking it so personally, even with constant reassurance. I just always had to walk on eggshells. We talked over everything, and turns out it was all just misunderstandings and miscommunication. We tried couples therapy to fix things, but it was just a lot to fix and try and get back to our old selves in the few weeks we had before a year-long distance relationship planned. He also said a bunch of things when he broke up with me, a lot of which turned out to be so unfair, even therapists said so. After we talked, he regretted his decision to break up abruptly and then wanted me back 2 days later. We talked in therapy, and seems like a lot of his unhealthy tendencies towards not being able to take criticism well without thinking I'm attracting him, getting mad at me for things he doesn't even tell me, bottling up feelings, not communicating even when I ask him if something is wrong, and not handling hard conversations well. These mostly come from his upbringing with his family, but it's affected us a lot. He has since apologized, but I still don't feel the same way towards him. It feels like our 2 years together, and what I was thought were good and happy times weren't actually, and every time he said he wanted to marry me and have children with me and grow old with me were just lies. It's like I loved this guy for 2 years, and he'd been lying to me and giving me fake reassurance. He's completely lost my trust, and I don't even know what to think of our time together now. If he went from saying all these good things to breaking up on a random day with no warning and giving me no chance to fix things, 'cause everything's fine and normal, and then boom, he broke up with me without even trying to talk it out first. And I still couldn't break up with him 'cause I was so attached, so even though I was crying 'cause of him, he was still the only one I wanted next to me. I was really unhealthily attached to him and always wanting him and scared to leave, even though I could see how much things aren't working out, including his sensitivity and things he'd be working on in therapy for years. Fast forward now, I'm 1 month into being away from him. I'm traveling alone at the moment around the world, and he moved countries for work, and even though the days leading up to it and day of and the days after it were bad, I'm now doing fine. I still would want him in my life because I love the man so fucking much and want the best for him. I can see he's not the partner for me, at least not now. I'm able to function without him and be self-dependent again thanks to being forced to be apart after being attached at the hip practically for 2 years. He still acts on our calls like none of that happened, and the things he's saying now for why he's missing me is reasons he was once using to break up with me. I still love him and want him there as a friend, but I think I'm ready to move on and be with other guys now, but want to make sure my boyfriend is okay because he doesn't have very many friends. The emotional drift and rockiness has affected my attraction to him. I'm getting more turned on by other men than him by the same things he does. I'm finding myself being attracted to other men, wondering what it'd be like, etc., which is so sad and I feel horrible. So this whole time, right, the reason I didn't want to leave him, even though he hurt me so much, like that day he broke up, and the way he did it was the worst pain I'd felt, and the first time I cried like that since my mom died, because I had always told him that if we ever broke up, it'd be like having to go through the grief of losing the most important person of my life. Now that we've spent time and I've realized I'm able to live without him, I'm losing my attraction to him because emotionally we're not the same anymore, and instead I am gaining attraction to other men. I would like to break up and come clean to my boyfriend about my feelings, but I am scared he'd be heartbroken, especially when he's in a new city and country all alone working and misses me like hell. I miss him too, but not as intensely as him. We also recently found out a surgery he had which removed a mass from his lung turned out to be cancerous, so we were both devastated for days. But after talking to doctors, seems like it was caught accidentally as soon as it could have been caught, and there is no cancer anymore. I still don't want to stress my boyfriend though, because stress can also cause cancer, and this would kill him. But I'm also running out of time, and in 3 months my solo world trip will end, and I know for a fact I will regret not acting on my desires because I didn't want to hurt my boyfriend. But nor is it nice for me to stay when all the trust and love and understanding and bond we had built in the 2 years together is all gone. What can I do? TLDR. My boyfriend of 2 years broke up with me suddenly, only to regret it days later. Our relationship was strained by miscommunication, his difficulty handling criticism, and his habit of bottling up feelings, many of which stem from his upbringing and recently diagnosed ADHD. Despite trying therapy, we couldn't fully repair things before a year-long long-distance phase. I was deeply, anxiously attached to him and very dependent, but after a month of solo travel, I've realized I can live without him, and it doesn't pain me to be away from him. I still am madly in love with him, platonically, I fear, and want him in my life, but I no longer see him as the right partner for me, at least not right now. I still would love to try again with him, maybe down the road once we're both mature and worked on ourselves alone, because we did talk about a life together, and I can see him as that. However, currently my attraction to him has faded, and emotionally I am very hurt by what he did, and thus why I'm now drawn to other men. I want to break up but fear hurting him, especially after his recent health scare. However, staying in the relationship feels unfair to both of us. What should I do?